How to learn modern architecture? When it comes to learning it, there is a great master of 20th century, none other than Le Corbusier. Corbusier designed Villa Savoye in 1929, which becomes the crucial case study for the modern architecture. Villa Savoye is the culmination of all Le Corbusier's attempt over the years to create the ideal living. Corbusier used the language of volumes and space to create same proportions as of Renaissance villas and the Parthenon. Villa Savoye is the amalgamation of physical and cultural life. Here Corbusier used the control geometry and merged it with the nature. The form is central to a temple carved out of a landscape. The main volume of the house is raised above following the principles of Cubism. Villa Savoye was built in Poissy, a small town in north of Paris. The site is surrounded mainly by trees with the view to the north and the west. Le Corbusier aimed to raise the volume at the top of the landscape. The geometry of the house was inspired by the nature, and Corbusier created a dynamic space in the static volume. Let's try to decode the Corbusier's vision for the Villa Savoye. Here Corbusier used the central form, which is like a central installation in the museum. This geometrical focal point supports the idea of the upraised volume in the space. The shape of the entrance is not straight, which gives the turning radius to the vehicle. It is the fundamental dynamics of the curvilinear volume in the rigid geometry, and this curve gives the direction to the entrance, and also it leads to the car parking inside the house. Corbusier added the transparent membrane to have the view from the exterior. The access ramp is located at the center, coinciding with the natural light. Here Corbusier added the open floor plan, where he extended the square geometry to the rectangle. The plan is open, which blends functions easily. Here the volume is upraised, supported by the column, which is the key principle of modern architecture. Corbusier uses cubism proportion with extended rectangular geometry. The orthogonal proportion of the house supports different functions in the space. Here the main house is in the cube volume and extended rectangular mass, the fusion of different geometries into one. Corbusier divided the space with private and public space. The functions are easily decoded. Villa Savoye was one of the first projects where the concept of horizontal window was added. The ramp leads to the user from the ground to the upper floor, which generates a sense of excitement into the space. Let's try to understand the exploded axonometric of the Villa Savoye. Corbusier added the rectilinear volume on the curved shape geometry. The main living area of the house contains the rectangular geometry. The central ramp and the staircase are in two different geometries. These functional elements are combined with the curved wall, which creates a dynamism in the space. The first floor of the house contains the living area, room, kitchen with the terrace garden. Corbusier added continuity in the living area and the terrace garden. They act as one. This spatial interpretation is perfectly mastered by Le Corbusier with the manipulation of volume and transparent planes allowing views in different ways. The central location of the ramp becomes the heart of the house. The continuity of the ramp makes the space more interconnected. The upper floor has horizontal window, which makes the exterior more connected to the interior. Corbusier is the master of blending different shapes into one, and his architecture always has some hidden mathematical principles. The pure minimal geometry is the key principle of modern architecture. Corbusier added curved panel at the roof, which smoothens the cube corners, and this leads to the terrace garden at the top, which has a view to the surrounding. The concavity and convexity of the planes looks at you and once again announces the presence of the villa from above. Corbusier considered the view enhancement at each side and added a supporting landscape at the roof. The ramp continues at the top and connects the lower floors with the upper roof. These curved walls makes the house more dynamic and allow views from each side. Let's try to understand how we can implement these principles into our design. The first and the key important principle is that how you can create a direction into a space. Corbusier uses curved geometry at the ground to create dynamism in the space. These curved walls allow the user to have directional space and lead to the entrance of the house, which is hidden and create excitement in the space. The house is upraised on pillars and surrounded by green landscape. We can sum up this house with the 5 principles of Corbusier. The horizontal window, which supports the climate and connects the exterior with the interior. The upraised structure on the pilotis, which are the pillars. The free facade where simple geometry is dominating. The free floor plan, which allows multifunctionality in the space, and the terrace garden. Corbusier is the greatest architect who understands the principles of life and architecture. And if you love architecture, you cannot ignore these principles. And if you follow these principles into your design, your client will appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. See you in the next video. Salute.